This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities.
Welcome again to Business Equity and Opportunities. Earlier this year, in July, we introduced you to Ramon Edmondson, owner of Prideland Comics and Collectibles. We were there initially to explore the role that comic books play during the Halloween season. Our conversation, though, took a turn when we found out about the impact our first visit played in the community.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. This Week in Business.
We've had quite a few people. What we did from the interview, we had people come out saying they saw the interview. Specifically, we've had Peace Learning Center reach out to us and wanted to do like a partnership, creating comics and things like that. So I thought that was good. I've done an event before called Comic Book for Kids, and it's a national organization where they go around different hospitals and then they pass out comics, toys, and candy, of course. They do things like that. And so we're going to be doing something, partnering with the organization here in town. They're like a cosplay, people dress up, and they're going to be doing, actually Thursday, we're going to go to Riley's Children's Hospital, and we're going to be, again, passing out comics, kids, candy, things like that. When I was in the classroom, definitely used like the stories to bring those in the classroom, have students, for one, create their own characters, storylines, tell moral lessons, things of that nature. Also, it gives students opportunity to escape. So on assignment, what powers would you have if you could select your powers, and they would write a story about that. And then of course some kids would take it a step further, draw out the character, color it, things of that nature. So you can kind of actually envision some of the things that they were thinking about. Most people know Stan Lee, famous line, great power comes great responsibility, through Spider-Man's Uncle Ben. So that kind of resonates with a lot of people. And there's just another, we kind of talking about Batman earlier. Even though Batman, a lot of people look at him as a loner, he has a large family of people, who lost parents as well, and that he's kind of adopted and brought them into his own family. So definitely there's a lot of good morals. There's a lot of connections that people can make, through reading those stories. Well, definitely, like, again, all time, even though a lot of people don't realize how old it is, but like Legend of Sleepy Hollow, that's always a good source material story. There's been TV shows made, but there's also a comic book as well that talks about the Headless Horseman, Ichabod Crane. And so again, it's also a great way to get students into like classic stories in a graphic novel format, but then they don't know it might be 50, 100-year-old story because they're experiencing it for the first time. And then a lot of people, enjoy those stories just as they did, 50, 60, 70 years ago. But right now, Chucky, I don't know, everybody loves Chucky. He does have like a TV series that's ongoing right now. So they actually have a storyline where he invades the White House. So, election's right around the corner, so that kind of just fits in with everything. But he's really, Chucky's really popular. Of course, Beetlejuice, they just recreated a new movie. And so a lot of people are into Beetlejuice. And again, it's kind of interesting to kind of see adults bringing their kids in who've seen this Beetlejuice movie. And then, they can again reminisce about, the first two Beetlejuice movies with Michael Keaton in it. And so that actually kind of brings that connection, with families as well, so they can kind of share some of the characters that they grew up with. Well, one of the things we do every year, and it's pretty much any comic shop in the U.S., they have a Comic Fest. And actually this year, they've been doing that year-round, well, not year-round, but all month long. So they have different things that they send in the stores that we can pass out. And then we have a thing called Trick or Read. And so basically there's comic books, kid-friendly comic books that we pass out, and they're totally free. Again, you go to any stores in the city, and just to get kids into reading. And then also, it has some of their favorite characters. You have Spider-Man, you have Star Wars, Captain Marvel, and those characters that's been some of them been around for some time. But again, with the movies, for the first time, a lot of kids are just now experiencing those characters. So it gives them, and then also the younger generation, opportunity to kind of open up and read some new stories and just get kids reading in general. Yeah, well, I've done my own comic book, of course, when I was in college. I did pursue to try to get it published. Hasn't happened yet, but it's something I still plan on doing. I actually wrote about 3 novels based on the characters I created. So hopefully one day I'll plan to get those things published. Currently my son, that's his passion, or that's what he's doing for a living, where he's creating his own characters, also drawing popular characters that people like, and just showing him, giving how he expresses himself, and just showing those different mediums that he liked to use to express his artwork.
Before we left Prideland Comics this time, Ramon introduced us to his talented son, who specializes in comic book art across the United States. We'll share his story next week. When we come back this hour, Ty Shea has tips for business owners about planning for promotions and raises. That as Business Equity and Opportunities continues.
This Week in Business is made possible by InnoPower.
The Indy Biz Pass 2024-25 cohort registration is now open. Has 100 spots available for Black-owned businesses. The Biz Pass includes free access to 3 Indianapolis co-working spaces for 365 days, providing networking opportunities, capacity-building workshops, support services, and more. In the last cohort, businesses saved thousands in rent, built powerful networks, and accessed some vital resources. This is a truly unique opportunity for your business. Follow the QR code to our website for more information on how to apply. The Indy Biz Pass registration runs now through November 1st.
So let's recap. What is the Indy Biz Pass?
So the Indy Biz Pass was intentionally created to connect Black businesses here in Indy to available resources for them. So we received funding in partnership with the African American Quality of Life Initiative, right, and the Urban League to provide access for 100 businesses a year to co-working spaces in the city. We saw that a lot of businesses needed a place to go to work every day, a place to have meetings, a place to engage other businesses. So giving them access to some of our best co-working spaces in the city has been just great to watch over the last year.
So is the program limited to a certain amount of people? If so, how many?
So we just got done with our first cohort of 103 businesses. 97% of those 103 businesses were women-owned businesses. So those businesses just got through 365 days of full access to P30, Maven Space, and the Speakeasy here in our city. So this year, those businesses have graduated. Our first cohort is graduating, and we're bringing in a whole new 100 businesses to go through another year of the programming.
Our viewers would like to hear about some perhaps success stories. Can you remind us or tell us of any?
So out of the 103 businesses, and we didn't know this when we got started, all of those businesses have asked to stay on board with the programming because one, they were able to save money on rent because they had access to the co-working spaces. They were able to build their network and actually do business with other businesses in the cohort. So intentionally creating that networking opportunity, intentionally giving them access to resources. So when you have 103 businesses, that's an attractive group that people want to engage. So having those businesses, we had a lot of banks, a lot of other institutions that had resources for those businesses. But those businesses also have to be solopreneurs, sole proprietors. They have to have been in business for at least 3 years or less. And they have to have pretty much $80,000 of revenue or less. So in that demographic, we're able to get 103 last year. We have a lot of businesses applying this year. The application process ends November 1st. So we want to get more businesses applying. We have probably about 30 spots left to close it out. So we're excited about this year's cohort.